What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit?
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. Season 28 Diablo 3 Road to Solo 150 on all classes. This is episode 4, I think. Today we're going to talk about how I plan to power up my Necro. So if that sounds interesting, maybe you didn't start Necro, we're going to give some tips, talk about the builds we're going to play, and move on from there. We'll do a little bit of an account summary and progress. If you want to just skip to the Necro section, it will be timestamped. Other than that, thumbs up brightens my day, and do subscribe if you're interested in Diablo 3, or 4 for that matter. In terms of account update, obviously we have managed to clear the 150 on the Wizard, which is nice. So we've put about 18 hours into some solo speed farming on Wizard. Paragon now, we are past the 2000, we're just under 2100. This is the part of the game where I start to personally get a little bit wobbly because the Paragon points start to slow down an awful lot. We need, I think, to get really to about 3000. That's kind of my goal. I think if we get 3k Paragon, we should be capable of doing all the classes 150. Any more than that will be a real bonus, will make it much easier, but ultimately that's where we are. Now, I can do a bunch of 130s on the Wizard. I can do them in like, 2.5 minutes on really, really nice maps. I can do it in like 3.5, 4 minutes on really bad maps. So I can solo a little bit, but ultimately, realistically, what's getting me the Paragon points and XP is the XP barb, and jumping into 150s and trying to get them blasted in like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, whatever it is, or doing some speed 135s or whatever. We do also, of course, have our Demon Hunter set up, again on ZDH. We put about 29 hours into the Demon Hunter all in. So ultimately, what I want to do next is I want to clear Trag'Ouls Nova Necro 150. That's the target. So Paragon farming, I think ultimately on the Necromancer is going to be a little bit difficult, because I just don't think we've got the punch power to get anywhere near like our Wizard, who is doing 130s as an example. So I guess that's where we're at. We're doing Z-barbs, like there's a shout there, Z-barb 135 speed. I would be all over that if I wasn't making a video, and if I didn't have to start my IRL day job in about half an hour. But that's the kind of thing we're looking for Paragon. So we don't need to go very high with the Necro. So let's say you didn't make a Necro first. Let's say you're like me, you made a Demon Hunter, or maybe you made a Wizard, and you're basically looking to do Necro. You want to do this as your next 150. How do you go about getting the gear? Well, to start off with, I used this, which is Legacy of Dreams Mages, because I know it's quite easy to set up, it doesn't require many parts, and it really does kind of crush T16. So you need your Log Gem at 99, obviously that should not be a problem in today's game, no issue getting that. A high Enforcer is going to help you out, but a high Bane of the Trapped would also work in this slot here for the Legendary Gem. And other than that, you go for the Boon of the Hoarder for toughness. A Gold Wrap you'll be able to have found on a Wizard or another class. You just re-roll the Intelligence on this. The only stat you care about is the Intelligence, so you don't need to worry too much. Ditto for the gold skin. You could pick this up on any class really. You could have a Demon Hunter version with dexterity on. If it's got 3 sockets, brilliant. You can put more intelligence gems in. You can then re-roll the main stat off from dex onto intelligence. Same for strength. So that's quite easy. Tasker and Theo, again, similar story. If you can get one, if you need the main stat, you can find one on any other class and roll on int. Attack speed on the modifier up to 50% if you can. So again, that's a nice easy item to get. Ditto for the Blackthorns. Like, you'll note that this has got the wrong element on. Mages are physical, so you ideally want a physical pair, and then again re-roll the main stat. But you've probably noticed you picked up on a couple of these secondary rolls. I'm just stuffing this build full of gold find. If we just pop it on, I think, actually, because as well as doing keys, this is an excellent build to get some gold up. So we've got 2.5 billion. You can't see it because my ugly ass head is in the way, but we do have 2.5 billion gold. So where is gold find? 42,000 thereabouts, which is pretty nice. Conventional elements, again, is a really easy item to get. Just any convention of any class will do. That's absolutely no problemo. Illyrics Crown, similarly, again, anything with crit chance, or you can maybe want to reroll the main stat again to intelligence, so you can pick it up on any class. Now, the Necro specific items are not that bad to get. A circle ring for the mages is in the loot pool level 1, so you can have this in a cube very easily. The 2 weapons, the Raelian's Shadowhook and the Scythe of the Cycle, again, are really easy to get. There's only 4 one-handed scythes in the pool. Just go over to Hadrig, craft a bunch, upgrade them. If you get an okay ancient one like this, you can just keep it, or you can obviously make one primal in the cube with your crafted primal. Raelian's Shadowhook is a similar story. There's only 4 two-handed scythes, so that's pretty easy to get. Reaper's Wraps, you will have had the plans for the cube. Just make a pair with physical, ideally with crit. Again, I haven't bothered crafting a better pair than this. Offhand, anything with crit chance and skeletal mage damage would be handy. I'm looking to pick one up to roll some gold finds, even more gold find on. If you're wanting damage, max essence is the roll that you want, but any of the offhands will do, basically, just a nice damage roll on it. Skeletal Mage and crit is happy days. So then we come to the more tricky items, which is going to be the Crispin Sentence Ring and also the Haunted Visions Amulet. They're really the 2 important jewellery pieces. Shoulders, you've got Recess Volition. I got lucky and the game just dropped me a pair of these before I was even playing Necromancer, and then I upgraded to this kind of like ancient pair. You can just simply roll shards on your Necro once you've got it to 70 and get this. It's a common item. It's just shards. You can do upgrades in a cube to get it if you want. Similar story for the boots. These just add move speed, so you can certainly do without these to start off with, but I think they make the runs faster, so I probably wouldn't play mages without getting a copy of these. Similar story for the Cereplate. It's a chest plate. It really makes these runs much easier because basically it just gives us a load more essence, which is very, very nice. So again, roll shards, upgrades, extract in the cube. The amulet is a bit of a pain, but you can do absolutely fine with any amulet other than this. So something with double crit on is nice. A Squirt's Necklace can be okay in this slot. You don't absolutely mega have to have it. And same for the Crispins. A Stone of Jordan would do you okay until you get it. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a big power bump. You will be a little inefficient doing your keys to start off with without all of the pieces. But I started at I think when I was maybe 1,000 or 1,100 Paragon, I had barely any gear, and it's quite quick to come together. If you get all the parts from the other classes, as we say, and you're only missing the couple of Necro jewelry pieces, they will pop out eventually. And the other option is if you're ever playing with the Z-Neck, if you can ask them, look, can you drop me a Crispins, can you drop me a Haunted Visions, and get one of them to get going. And then I've pretty much just played this. This has been about sort of 7 or 8 hours. I've done all my keys recently on this, and I'm looking to put together Nova. Skills really quick. Simulacrum Reservoir, Blood Rush Molting, Bone Armor Dislocation, Devouring Aura, Skeleton Mages, and then Bone Spikes to open doors. Final Service, Fueled by Death, Extended Servitude, and Life from Death are the passives. It's quite a fast key build. It's certainly not super S tier, but what it does, it's not slow. We're a little bit inefficient doing it than playing something else that's faster for keys, but at the end of the day, we're really pumping our gold up, and I don't mind a little bit of inefficiency there. And then that's what we're working towards, which is the Nova. It's much more likely to be able to put the mages together, I think, before the Nova, because the Nova is going to require 5 pieces of the Trag'Ouls build. Again, you can take Funerary Pick. We've done a whole guide on how to do 120, so I'll link that in the description for you. Funerary Pick, you probably want to make sure you're getting this on your crafted primal, and then once you've got your Haunted Visions and Crispins from doing your T16 runs, you'll be able to then slap this together. Bloodtide Blade in the cube, Dainty's Binding, Guardian set. Now, I've done a few runs on this, and even though I've been looking for Necro pieces, we're really actually very short on Ancients. We could get an Augment on the weapon, because I like this. It's got damage percent, it's got area damage on, so that can get Auged. That's probably something I should do fairly soon. The next nicest piece I found is the Death Nova boots, 15% Death Nova on a pair of Stuart's Greaves. that's decent. The Guardian's Gaze Belt has managed to drop Ancient, but with the lowest possible Intelligent roll, so I probably need a new one of that. Need a better pair of braces that are Ancient, and my offhand is terrible because I need Nova damage and crit, as well as area damage, and I've only got the area damage. So again, that's something that could be improved upon massively. I've been rolling a lot of offhands, and I'm just getting no luck. It's weird. Non-ancient helm, chest, gloves, shoulders. Like the gloves are okay. The double crit, they do have a bit of area damage. Again, I could probably roll that area damage up to like 20. Make that a much nicer pair of gloves. You know, really, you want higher death Nova damage as well as crit on your helm. But all in all, what I'm getting at is there's a lot of pieces here to improve. You know, my Crispins is not great. It's got the 100% on it, which is nice, but I don't really want cooldown. You know, I would like main stat, socket, and double crit, I think would probably be my pick. So the plan, I think, really, now that I've got this, is to probably bust out a load of 105s, maybe 110s, depending on how fast they are, because we're losing XP. Every time we do a rift on the Nova Necro, we're losing XP, because we could be doing that rift on 130 on Wizard, we could be doing 135 or upwards, maybe on our support builds. So kind of got to get out of the mindset of caring about giving up some Paragon points. They'll still come at 105, 110, whichever it is, we kind of bounce between those two. They'll just come slower, and that is okay, because realistically, I think the most important thing at the moment is gear. And I know 105, we can kind of blow it apart in like 2 minutes a lot of the time. Not always, because again, this build really thrives on density with the blood type blade. You've got to get, you know, a nice map really, really fast. A crappy low density spread out map is a lot slower, because you can't get this modifier working for you. The skill is fairly close range, you know, to radius around your character, but it isn't brilliant. So that's the theory. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably bust out maybe like 100 105s, and then maybe see where we are with the gear after that. The other option is, of course, to go and do bounties, maybe jump on the Wizard, jump on the Demon Hunter, and then reforge a bunch of this stuff. But I think given that Nova is fun and I like it, I would quite like to play it. Again, I think that's going to be the strategy for each class. We're going to have to get a build that's like 90 to 110 range for speeds, very fast, do like 100 or 200 runs, see what gear we've got, and then basically use the bounties to kind of smooth out the bits that are stuck. Another good tip actually for setting up a Necro that I probably should have mentioned earlier when you're doing the T16 is whatever class you're on, you can always roll offhands. So you can always just come here, spend some shards. Doesn't matter whether you're on Barb, Demon Hunter, Wizard, whatever. You can always get your Necro offhands here. So it's, you know, same for the Mojo for the Witch Doctor when we get around to doing that. But yeah, that's gonna be the plan. Now, I think we could do the runs faster on Bone Spear. 100%. I think Bone Spear's got an average clear time that's probably a little bit faster. I did also get a very nice pair of Bone Spear braces, obviously primal, and we can play about with the element on this, which is kind of nice. But I want to do Nova because I really like Nova, and I'm still a little burnt out on Bone Spear. I think that 4th cube season, I just played it like far too much, and I fancy doing this for a little bit. Plus, I also don't want to be coming back in here looking in my stash and going, is this a better bow? Is this a better trag helm? Is this a better trag chest? I just want to kind of have it on. That way I can just check my gear really quick and go, great, that's it. We've got some augment gems ready to go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ready. So 7 if we use one on this funerary pick here. I'm probably not going to put one on the Stewart's Greaves because we won't use that for the push build. So I think it's a little bit of a wasted augment. I might do, but again, given we've got so many classes to do and there's a couple of the push builds I'd like, I think I'll probably rather save the gem for something else. I do have quite a few gems to roll up and convert into topaz. So again, that'll help with the augment process. And that's kind of the theory. Again, at some point, I feel like I probably should do a round of bounties, just so I can clean up this Guardians. Like, I can craft about 50 or 60 without getting too jittery on mats. But again, you know, realistically, there's going to be other things to extract in the cube. There's going to be other things to build. So again, I could do another 50, 60 copies of the braces, and they're all guilds, not guardians. Yeah, still another 60 copies or so. And you never know, we might get lucky, we might get ancient. Necro's not too bad, it's only got 3 elements, so those 2 pieces really should be cleaned up. But again, they're going to only be transient because I think with some more Paragon, I think we probably swap to Ore Guilds anyway. And we might be able to recycle the Ore Guild's shoulders from the Wizard. Don't know if I've got them in here. I think the Wizard might be wearing them, because obviously Wizard loves area damage. Nova Necro loves area damage. So we might be able to save ourselves a little bit and just basically make Ore Guild's braces and then put dainties on. Or the other option is an Aquila, and I do have a nice primal Aquila, with the correct main stat on. So again, that's another option. So I could org this, for the push build, but I probably wouldn't bother using it for the speeds, I don't think. And that's it. So we're gonna cane shards on offhands until we get a better one. I think if we get 2 out of the 3 stats, would I org it at 2 out of 3? So let's say crit chance Nova and no area damage. It gets a bit squiffy. We'll see how it goes. I was speaking to somebody the other day in my clan who's got 3 primal iron roses, and they've all rolled with trash stats, so it's just how it goes sometimes. That's the plan. Video wise, I'm going to maybe try something a little new. I'm going to try and do a drop highlights video, maybe run 100 riffs and see if we can put some movie clips and memes, that kind of stuff in, make it a fun video. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, but that's kind of like something that's been on my ideas list for a little while. Once we've got the gear, I say once we've got another couple of nicer pieces for the Necro, we will go off and have a little push. And I think we've got the Paragon. I think realistically we don't need too much in terms of gons to get it done. But as we can see, this is the kind of setup. If we had much nicer gear like this, this is kind of what we want. Dainty's Binding, that's a hard item to get. We're probably going to have to spend bounty mats on this one because you really want the 50% roll. A little bit like the Carini for the Wizards, not quite that level of difference, but getting that 50% toughness is super handy. I have seen people use Aquila. I guess Mantle of Channeling doesn't give you as much damage reduction, but it is giving you a bit more damage. I think I need to get one of these in the cube. There, that's like a decent offhand. So this guy's got crit and Nova, so he doesn't have area damage actually. So maybe 2 out of 3 would be fine. And maybe we don't look for the unicorn of offhands with the trifecta roll on it. The vitality helps, I guess, a little bit. Oof, look at that gear. Right, that is the video update. I hope you enjoyed it. That's the plan moving forwards. Drop highlight video hopefully coming soon. And yeah, there'll be more videos on other stuff. I've got plenty of ideas, but that's what we're going to be doing for the next few days, except for when we're grouping. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're enjoying season 28. I've been the Filthy Casual. Take it easy, guys. Peace.